Well, good evening and welcome back to live softball action. We're in sunny Adelaide, South Australia for the Premier League. Game is about to get underway. It's Port Adelaide Magpies versus the Walkerville Cats. Couple of teams that had a win on the weekend, but a great night for Premier League action. Let's get straight into it. James Harris here, and alongside me tonight, Mark Cramp and Kathy Lambert. Hello, good evening and welcome.
Hello, everybody. Kathy, hello. Welcome, welcome.
Hello. Yeah, very excited to be here. What a great Wednesday night of softball.
Just running repairs to the diamond. Looks like there's a little bit of extra dirt in and around the first base area, but that won't be too far away from getting underway. Gio Grauer on the mound tonight for Port Adelaide, just going through her warm-up pitches as we speak. And Mark and Kathy, the action on Saturday was non-stop. We had a double header. One of those games featured these teams, which was Walkerville versus Sturt, and it was Walkerville in what we would have thought as an upset, defeating top of the table Sturt Falcons. You saw that game?
Yeah, well, I wasn't here live, but I did see the Facebook Live, and yeah, Walkerville were very strong and good with the bats, and obviously getting the runs that they needed when they needed it. But I believe they were about 3-0 down and had a good inning and came up with a good 6-3 at the end. And
missing one of their stars tonight. We'll go through their lineup in a moment, Chelsea Robinson. But on the flip side, Mark, it was Port Adelaide over West Torrens in a huge victory. It was 17-7 in the highest scoring game of the season so far.
Yeah, I mean, this is what we've been talking about. This season, it's really up and down, isn't it? It's like anyone can win. 1 minute you're on fire. West Torrens didn't get off to the best start, and then they come back, and then they're slowing down. And now Walkerville are beating the top. It's a really mixed season, and I don't know what we're going to get. Yeah,
I agree. It's but it makes for a really exciting competition.
It certainly does.
The record for these two teams so far, they've played each other twice. Round 1, Port defeated Walkerville 6-1 in the Yo Grauer show. And in round 7, Walkerville levelled the head-to-head, and they've got 1 win each now, and it was a pretty good 4-1 victory. So both teams with a win over one another, but talk me through it, guys. Is there going to be a standout in this game, a game changer, a match winner?
Well, Kathy, I haven't been watching it. I've been stuck at work, and obviously with the COVID interruptions and bits and pieces, I've sort of been. My schedule hasn't allowed me to get down here as much as I want. But I haven't heard much about Joanna Grauer as I did at the start of the season, or I did last season. Is she having the impact for Port Adelaide that we thought she was going to have? I'm not too sure.
She's got a 3-win, 2-draw and 2-loss record on the season. Which isn't as dominating as what you'd think, considering she started the year with a couple of wins. But with the bat, she's probably sitting second or equal second in their team for batting as well, behind young sensation Taylor Chillingworth, who's just 1 hit behind Belinda White, who's leading the competition with 13. So Chillingworth with 12 on the season. So perhaps sharing the limelight a little bit, Mark.
Oh, I think it's amazing too for young Chillingworth. I mean, and we've always said she's following, like the stars that we've had in South Australia, and she's following one of the best in Belinda White. And to have 12 already, well, I say already, but with an interrupted season, she's doing very well.
She is, and she's still so young.
Well, Grauer into her work. She missed on the first pitch a little bit high. It is Sophie King, the leadoff batter for the Walkerville Cats. Yo Grauer evens up the count at 1-1. Might come to you in a second, Kathy, with your game changer or match winner. High for a ball.
Yeah, look, I think actually it's going to be really, really a close one. I mean, yes, Taylor's been hitting really well, but there's been a couple of batters on Walkerville side that have also been hitting well. But what I've seen from both of these teams is they're just playing, that basic softball. You get somebody on, you advance them through, nothing really spectacular, no game changers at any time. It's just that routine softball, and that's what I think we'll see a little bit of from tonight.
Well, Sophie King, one of the big 4 Cats, alongside Robert, Spanithan and Robinson, who's missing tonight. Change of pace, just missing the outside edge. No word on Robinson, however. We have word from Lee Hull. We'll hear from Lee a little later in the broadcast. He is over watching the games on Diamond 2 tonight. Hills Heat versus Sturt Falcons. It's Hills Heat leading 3-1 over the Falcons as Yo Grower gets Sophie King swinging. So the first out of the game is a strikeout. And she's awesome to watch, isn't she, when she's in full flight, Yo Grower, and starting off very well for the Magpies tonight. She might be a bit of a barometer for the team as well. If she can have a strong performance, I think the Magpies might have a comfortable win. What do you think, guys?
Oh, I totally agree. I was just saying before, I haven't heard much about her. Is she on? Is she off? You said that she dominated the first couple of games, and she dominated the win that they had 6-1, and she's looking very sharp in her first. Well, that one's in the dirt. That's the commentator's curse. Apart from that one, looking very sharp. No, she's looking comfortable and very happy out there.
Yeah, sorry, James. And you know, the Port Adelaide, their team, they're so young, and they really rely on Yo to kind of lead them and keep them grounded and level. And you know, when she's on and calm and comfortable, then you know, it really allows everybody else to learn from her and step up and play.
Hayley Benithan in the box for the Cats, 2-1 count. She just got froze on that last pitch.
And can hit this young girl too, James. I've said it multiple times.
Can hit and can run.
High for a ball. Good eyes as well, as we saw on that occasion. Hayley Benithan leads the Walkerville Cats for hits in this season with 10, just a couple behind the league leaders. No one is in better form than Hayley Benithan in the competition at the moment. She's had 5 hits from her last 2 games.
Yeah, I think I noticed on the weekend when they beat Sturt, I think she had 3. So, you know, against quality pitcher, I think it was Melly Fitch that pitched that whole game. That's impressive hitting.
Well, the impressive hitting continues, and as she gets a walk for the first base runner of the game, and that is 1 strikeout, 1 walk start for Yo Grower.
Did you just mention her on-base average? Did I miss that? Like, what would Hayley's on-base average be? Probably the only stat that you don't have, mate. I apologise. So that one gets laid down.
Sacrifice bunt. Well executed from Dale. Moving Benithan over to second base. She will be replaced by Sophie King as the courtesy run. 2-out catcher speed up rule to bring up Sophie Roberts. Led the league in RBIs last season, and this is the batter that the Cats want in the box with a runner in scoring position here in the top of the first.
And Sophie King in scoring position, which, you know, she's always going to get that extra base. She also has really got some fast legs, and any single should be looking till they get home.
Yeah, anything loose, you'd think she'd sneak off to 3.
Yeah.
She's very, very quick, hence the lead off, and a very clever player. One of the big 4, as you said, Jim. So she'll be looking.
Grower to Roberts. That one just on the letters, so around the mark to swing it, probably the top of the swinging zone, I guess you could say, because sometimes you can open up your strike zone a little bit.
Just another number 4, sticking up for another number 4, I'd say.
Just punches her hands at this one to foul it off and stay alive in the count. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Fascinated by tonight's matchups. It is 3rd versus 4th. Walkerville sitting in 3rd, Port on 4th, both on 10 points each. The game that's been played at the moment is Sturt versus Hills. It's top versus 2nd. And the game later on tonight will be change of pace. What a great pitch. That one was going in reverse. It was going that slow. Lots of spin, and it dipped as well towards the end.
Yeah, don't you love seeing those kind of pitches? You know, I feel for Sophie, obviously. You don't want to be a batter in that position, but wow, that is impressive.
Well, Sophie Roberts batting 4, a big hitter, can hit, swung at that one that you said, Jim, which was up around the letters, and went after it, and then just got nailed on that change-up. Beautiful change-up too.
We didn't go through the Port defensive lineup. Perhaps we'll do it at the start of the next inning, but they were impressive against West Torrens, and so when Yo Grower was throwing 2 strikeouts an inning, which is what we came to expect of her last season, the Port defence have got it easy, haven't they? But last week against West Torrens, they really did show that they don't necessarily always depend on Yo Grower, and so good positive sign. Let's have a look at the Walkerville defensive lineup They have a change at the plate. That is that the DP, Sally Colquist, who was named as the starter, comes out for the the flex player. So the DP comes in, and Walkerville will drop down to 9 players. Let's go around their defensive lineup. Riley Moore pitching to Hayley Benathan with Jenny Gray at first. We've got Ashla Pino at second base, Sophie King at short, Sophie Roberts at third, Lisa Yancic at left field with Bianca Ramsey centre field and Karen Dale at right field. So missing a couple of players probably by the looks of things, but Coach Dale's a veteran of the game and a handy player to come into your lineup, and Lisa Yancic won a B grade best and fairest just a couple of years ago, so can play the game. And how solid were they against the Falcons on Saturday? Their defence was a highlight.
Yeah, it was a great game to watch, and as I said, you can't get excited about who you think is going to be winning the game because you know this competition is so even, and you know they showed that as I said, at 3-0 down, you know they just pulled it all together at the right time, and it was a team effort. It was great.
Riley Moore throwing for the Cats, and she's been quite an impressive young pitcher so far this season. 3 wins and 2 losses. Puts her in the top 3 or 4 pitchers of the competition as Megan Williams grounds this to Sophie King. What a great play and a strong arm from shortstop.
Yeah, fantastic coming in on that, and just a solid and really confident throw over to Jenny Gray at first. Nice out, routine play.
I was talking like I had plenty of time there because Megan Williams likes to watch a lot of pitches, but only faced a couple on that occasion.
And that brings Jess Neves up, and has been batting well too of late that I've seen. I hope I haven't jinxed her just now, but she watches that one through.
Yeah, Neves in the top 4 hitters for her club with 8 hits on the season, including 1 on the weekend.
It's about consistency as well with Jess, isn't it? It's not about the oh, she drives that one out.
To left field, Lisa Yancic under the ball to take a catch, so 2 outs in 4 pitches for Riley Moore, making short work of it.
Nice way to go, and yeah, Riley Moore, as you were saying before, James, she's really come along, hasn't she? I mean, we're still looking at her as a junior developing player last year, but she slotted into her role this year without, you know, as one of their regular pitchers, and is doing a fantastic job. Gets stronger every single game.
One right down the middle, and you're flirting with danger when you pitch him there to Grauer. Hasn't had a lightning start to the season, but still 9 hits in the 8 games, in the 7 games that she's played. She missed one when she was in Brisbane, and she also had a rest 1 week as well. That one's in there too. So
that was a bit lower, Jim. That was a bit lower. So you give her the big fat one to start with, and then say, all right, I'll put one close, but you wouldn't want to do that again. I've got a fear here. I think it may go very deep if you put another one in the same spot.
Fouls it off to stay alive in the count.
And I tell you what, it's Sally out there. Had the
Riley.
Oh, sorry, Riley had the little bit of attitude to put it there as well, but a little bit off pace. So I really like that. It's one of those things that you don't expect that you're gonna put it there again, and when you do, oh, inside says never wrong.
Well, Riley taking a leaf out of Yo Grauer's book there. She does have a floating change of pace, and Yo Grauer seemed to freeze on that one as well. Just came in a little high.
Yeah. Otherwise, it was looked like it was the perfect angle.
Oh, goes opposite field on this one, and it trails foul.
I think that snuck up on her a little bit quicker than she first anticipated there, Grau. I think she had plenty of time, and Riley put a little bit more on that one and just sort of caught her napping a bit, I reckon. So it's a good little battle here.
Yeah, she's doing a really good job.
Yeah, 2 outs, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Grau has fouled off a couple. A 1-2-3 inning will be a perfect start for the Cats. That's the high change as well. 2
and 2, do you try another one? And just hope it drops in?
Well, she's seen it twice already in this turn at bat. But you'd say anything with pace on it, Grauer just lean on it and put it to the fence.
Yeah, I don't think it's a bad strategy.
This one's inside and did tie her up. Kathy, good call. Lupino will take the easy fly ball at second base for a 1-2-3 inning. And after one complete, we've got a tied ball game. It's 0-0.
Well, that's exactly what Walkerville needed after the start. So that's good because, like you said, Grauer had a 2-strike innings. They need a strong defensive presence tonight, Walkerville.
Charlie Nash?
Charlie Nash.
So do we know anything about Charlie?
A new name for the Port Adelaide Magpies. So obviously there's no Gemma Letton. And you know what? I can't picture anyone else. Michaela Yankovic is on the bench, and you'd think that she'd be next to come in. Backup pitcher, still a young player, but has been handy so far this season. And Amelia Dolphin still carrying a slight injury. She's also named on the bench with another young Port Adelaide player in Zoe Thompson. So just one of the young brigade. Port Adelaide, of course, very successful junior club. They won the Junior Club of the Year last year in the Adelaide Club competition. So plenty of talent throughout the club. So be good to see her have her first turn at bat a little later on in this matchup. Well, we've got American flavour here at the moment. Yo Grauer is about to pitch to Ashley Lupino. We remember last year she was by the name Merkin, has moved to Australia, married a local.
That she has. I think I asked the question not long ago. I was out for dinner and actually met someone who knew the husband, and we had a bit of a chat, and I said, no, definitely Merkin, and he corrected me.
That is just very similar to the way that Yo Grauer her last turn at bat, inside on the hands and a fly ball to second base.
It sounded like it was going to go a lot further than it did. But yeah, only a fly out to second. That brings up Jenny Gray.
You can just see it, can't you, that Yo Grauer's confidence over the last few weeks has been down a little as Port Adelaide weren't putting the wins on the board, but it just looks like it's back now, doesn't it? It's good conditions here as she fires that one in, just a little out of the zone, but she's got that smile back on the face. And
oh, look, and she's a seasoned veteran. I mean, she's not a veteran in terms of age, but in terms of her experience, and you know, she was never going to be down and out for long. If she was, I mean, I hadn't seen a lot of those games, you know, prior to today, but of her games. But yeah, we can't count her out at any time.
Well, she fires that one in, and 2 balls, 1 strike. The count now on Gray. Riley Moore on the on-deck circle. This one's fouled over to the right side. Perfect night. We've struggled for the weather of late. It is summer in Adelaide, believe it or not, but on Saturday it was batting down the hatches. It was 50-kilometre-hour winds. There was some rain.
Well, I'm sitting here with a T-shirt on tonight. I'm contemplating putting the jumper on, but I'm holding out for as long as I can because it has been a beautiful day. I'll tell you what, there's a little bit of a funny feel here tonight. I don't know what it is. Everyone's a little bit mixed. For a 3v4, you'd think it would be a little bit more intense and a little bit going for it, but both teams seem to be a bit calm and relaxed, the atmosphere here.
Well, sometimes they say in sport, you know, you got to catch up to the game, or you know, you bring someone in a little bit later out when the pace has been taken off the game. You're right. These teams look like they're in about a second or third gear at the moment.
Yeah.
But you can tell that any one of these teams are about to explode because they've both got some young talent in their team.
Well, we talked about Joanna Grauer before and about pitches control. She's controlling the pace of the game here at the moment. She's calm out there. She's walking around, and there you go.
That was a great pitch, and worked really well the whole time Jenny was there, and she was there for a long time, but just stayed calm, controlled, collected, and did what she needed to do.
You've both hit the nail on the head there, and I like your comment, Mark, about she's controlling the pace of the game. She's in no hurry out there. She is taking her time between pitches.
And it makes you want to bat as a batter, doesn't it? Wants you to get you try and speed up, and then it gets you out of your normal rhythm. And so they play a lot of mind games pitches. They don't probably get the credit they deserve some of the times for thinking. Big shout out to Jared if you're listening. No, he's a great big man, and they think a lot. They overthink maybe.
One of the great students of the game, Jared, and he's turned into a great coach as well. So as soon as his playing days are done, which he's probably still got another couple of decades to go, he'll just slip into a coaching role nice and easy, I think.
Yeah.
High pitch, out of the zone, but Riley Moore couldn't hold the hands back, and the check swing is called swinging.
It's one of those times that you're going, but you're only going 80%. She goes after that one and it fouls back.
As we can see the West Torrens team starting to head over to Diamond 2 for their game tonight against Seacombe Tigers, including Steph Trzynski, who threw her first inning of the year on Saturday afternoon. 3 strikeouts in that inning.
Fantastic.
But she gave up a couple of runs as well. But
you've got to start somewhere, Jim, and she has been a very, very good player, as we know, as Moore goes down swinging. And Joanna Grauer gets her 2nd for the innings and 4th for the game.
4 for the game from Grauer, and that's the dominance that she can have over a game. All smiles there on the Port Adelaide huddle, and in the dugout there, it's been pretty easy going so far. Only had a couple of balls in play there, and it's just to that infield that's now pretty settled. They've got some good experience and depth in Tash Straps at first and Megan Williams at second, but then that young talent over on the left side with Callahan and Chillingworth. That is Taylor Chillingworth on screen. She has been on fire, and to start the year unassuming, just lower order batter, like batting 6, 7, 8. And just accumulating the hits week in, week out. She had 5 hits in the first 3 games, and she's on a 5-game streak at the moment, including 3 on Saturday against West Torrens. So this is the player to watch in the competition at the moment, Taylor Chillingworth, and we'll see her go up against Riley Moore in just a moment.
And quite an all-rounder, not only batting and obviously doing so well at shortstop, but I noticed it fully loaded. She's a really decent pitcher. Like she throws some good kilometres an hour. I think you were saying during the game, guys, it was up around in the 90s?
Yep, yeah, mid-90s. Yeah, Chillingworth, a shortstop pitcher that can hit. You can't ask for much more than that out of a player. The only thing that could top that off if she was a catcher.
Oh. I was just about to say something, but you said it, Jim. Sort of reminds me of a player that we had in the men's. I did play shortstop for a little while, Kelly. Thanks. Did roll my arm over a couple.
Riley Moore fires that one in for a called strike. The pitching tactics will be interesting for the Cats tonight, as Chillingworth gets after this one, fouls it off for 2 strikes. The pitching tactics in that Sally Colquist has been a great player for their team this year. She pitched the win on Saturday against the Falcons. And between the two of them, they've got 3 wins from the last 4 games and 5 from the last 7.
It's a good little combination that they've got there, isn't it? It's like they sort of feed off each other, and I don't think there's too much diversity. You leave the field as it is, and you can change the pitches over, but the field's still going to back you up, and then that's sort of good a combination to have. You've almost got 2 out of the 1 pitcher, really, or 2 out of 1, 1 out of 2, whatever.
2 for the price of 1.
Yep.
Yeah, and they've both been solid. Sometimes you've got a really strong pitcher and your second pitcher comes in, there's a noticeable difference. But these two who have had to step up and take the place of you know, a usual international picture that Walkerville have. They're doing such a great job of it.
Pulls this to the left side. Sophie King backs back and takes a catch on the edge of the dirt. So, well, you mentioned the commentator's curse before, Mark. It's only her first turn at bat. She'll have a couple more tonight, Taylor Chillingworth, and that brings up to bat Charlize Callahan.
I get excited when I come down here and I see the stats of the girls and how well they're going. I'm thinking, oh, I'm going to see some big hits here today. And I always put the curse on them. It's me. Getting a nod from the official scorer here. Getting heckled by everybody. Oh, I'm getting nods everywhere. The daughter as well.
Callahan has a wide stance, pulls this one, or drives it up the middle, and Sophie King again in the action and gets the ball across to Jenny Gray. It looked like she reached for it quite early there. They're sharing a smile, but was still able to complete the out.
Yeah, she was all over that. She was all over that, King, wasn't she? I think she had a favourable bounce. The sort of second one hit in dirt, and then just popped up and she ran onto it. Pretty good throw over to first, but you're right. She stretched. Jenny stretched real early. Oh, as that one fires through and just clips the top of Gray's glove. Goes under out to the 400-game veteran in Carindale, who scoops it up and fires it in.
A little bit more than 400, Mark. I reckon she's up around the
800?
800. Let's.
Trying to be nice.
It was Cara Tilton, though, in the action. She is swinging the hot bat at the moment. She had 3 hits on Saturday to go to 10 hits for the season. Tash Straps now in the box for Port Adelaide. Chillingworth is the catcher speed-up runner, the courtesy runner.
I'm looking over at the official scorers. I think they put red on that one. Did you put red on that one? Oh, they gave me a nod. They're hard.
Wow,
they're hard, those women.
That was a hard hit.
Oh. Now Straps, they may have missed the signal there because I don't think that was a full-blown swing from Straps. It was a bit of a, all right, well, let's see what they've got. But 2 out, you wouldn't send her on that, would you, with Benathan behind the plate?
Yeah, she's been on fire. Benathan, one of the star catchers that we have in this competition, just got so much talent throughout the competition. Faith Pickard from West Torrens and Carly Allen, so they've got a couple. Walkerville's got a couple in Benathan and Robinson. You look at the Falcons, they've got White and Tonkin. Tonkin does the majority of the work there as Chillingworth takes off. Neve Adams playing shortstop. Stolen base for Chillingworth and a runner in scoring position for Port Adelaide.
Hey, and that was on early too, and you see Coach Straps over there saying, great work, great work. She got plenty of speed, Callahan too, hasn't she? Oh, sorry,
Chillingworth.
Sorry, Chillingsworth.
Yes, she definitely does. I did some speed work with the under-16s a couple years ago, and
great shot from Straps up the middle. Will take on the arm of the outfielder Ramsey, who just throws it into second base for the first run of the game. It'll probably go down as a single to Straps and then an error for the run scored from Chillingworth. She just bobbled it a little bit and just one little misfield, and that's all you need.
I was looking at the lineup just then. I didn't want to put the curse on him, and I thought to myself, geez, Tash Straps is batting 7. It's a dangerous, dangerous batter because she's batted, I've seen her bat from all the way from 1 to 7 previous games, and she just did it, didn't she? Put it out there to centre field and scored the run.
Yeah, that was a great hit. Nice, solid hit, and Taylor was always running home on that. She's a nice little aggressive base runner and got some speed behind her as well. So, yeah, there's no surprise that Port Adelaide are up by 1 already.
Is there any reason, and I'm going to ask the question here, I may be completely wrong, but why did they have Taylor out there and not Callahan? Can you choose your runner?
It can be any batter as long as it's not in the next 4 batters.
Okay, because I thought it was last batter out. Sorry, my fault.
I think that was, well, my understanding, but I think that was from our days. Although my days were a lot earlier than your days, Mark.
That's where I got confused. I was old.
Actually, I was around the time when they didn't even have a catcher speed up rule. You know, it just catchers just play.
Yeah, you know what? It's a very soft rule, that, isn't it?
It is.
Catcher sitting between us, but why do they get special treatment?
Speed up a timed game, and I think one of the hardest players on the diamond deserve a break once in a while. Ella Forrester for the Magpies.
Good eyes. Was that one slips over and good backing up by King?
We mentioned Forrester last year quite a lot. We mentioned her breakout season and how well she was playing. This year has come back to the pack a little bit, but good to see she got a hit on Saturday. She grounds this one over to Roberts, and one of the strongest arms in the comp, Sophie Roberts, gets that one for the third out, but not before the Magpies score the first. And after 2 complete, it is the Magpies leading 1-0.
Now, we were just talking about their 5-3 to throw. And Sophie Roberts, that was a firecracker she threw across there. You've got some very good third basemen you say third baseman? Third base people? I don't want to be that guy.
Third base player?
Third base player. We've got some very, very talented third base players in South Australia.
Well, we mentioned the catching talent, with the third base talents there as well, but there's talent in every position in just about every team in this competition as well. Game is over on Diamond 2, and we will welcome Lee Hull when he makes his way over in about 15 minutes or so, and we'll get the update from him as we see Port Adelaide just going through their warm-up, and that's Lisa Jensic on screen, who will lead things off for Walkerville in the top of the third.
Well, we've said this 1,000 times before. You can score a run, but it's no good unless your defence is there. Now, we know that Yo Grauer has got 4 for the game. She's 2 in each innings, but we're down to Lisa Yannick, 8th batter. They've started to see their way through. Is this their innings, Jim?
Well, it took a couple of innings for them to warm up on Saturday against the Falcons, and they did a lot of damage in about the 3rd or 4th inning. So if they can get through to the top of the order in this inning without too many out or any out, they'll be in good position to tie up the ball game, maybe even go ahead.
And Yannick goes after that one too, so she's not there for a holiday by any stretch of the imagination. But you're right, they took a couple of innings to get going last week, and then they fired, didn't they? So you got Yannick, Ramsey, and then back up to King. Oh, she puts that one high outside, and is it Yang Chick?
Yep, for the 5th strikeout for Grauer. Anchor Ramsey now in the box for the Cats.
Nice solid player, and certainly if anybody's going to start the hitting slugfest, it'll be her.
She's coming in at a good pace. Grauer's now really settled in, hasn't she? Seeing the 9th batter, and what has she got, 5 already?
Yeah, it still surprised me to see, after all these years of the American pitchers that come over and just blast the ball in. Remember, Kim Rita for Seacom was throwing at 115 when she was fit and firing them in there. That the batters are still batting right at the front of the box.
Yeah, they don't back off, as this one, number 6, as Grauer gets her 2nd for the innings.
That's well placed. One of those 2 strikes on you. I'm just going to pop it a little high in the zone. And
she's done that twice now, hasn't she?
Really well for her. At top of the lineup here.
Well, this is what we need. You need Sophie King to put the ball on the ground and leg it out. And then you've got Benathan coming right behind it, and that could change the game. And this girl can beat it out.
She took a little bit off that one, but it seemed to dip a fair bit.
Are they difficult to catch, Jim? You've caught some of the best in the world. They're difficult to catch, those slow drop outside, aren't they? So you turn the glove around. You don't sort of, you've got the glove on the left-hand side. You sort of go around. The ball comes down with your hand. Are they hard to take? You're going to say they're easy and bad.
Oh, no, I think it's a bit harder to catch the low inside, the ones that sort of
Right
tail into the right-handed batter. It's high, popped up. Straps calls it out loud. Slight bobble, but she's got a massive mitt there at first base, and it, although it bobbled slightly, it still stayed in the glove for the third out. So another 1-2-3 inning for Port Adelaide. They consolidate the run that they scored at the bottom of the second inning, and will come into the bottom of the third with that 1-run lead. Another great inning from Grauer. She looks like she's in her top form again.
Oh, she did a great job with that last batter there. As we saw, the first one had some pace taken off it. It would have been about, I don't know, 20 k's different from what her usual one is. But then the second pitch came in at probably top speed, and it just really caught Sophie, just by surprise in terms of the speed that it came in. And yeah, and then a nice little high one again, which popped it up for a catch out by Tash Strap. So very clever pitching.
Well, they're not out of trouble yet, Port Adelaide, because you had Hayley Benithan on deck, Karen Dale and Sophie Roberts. So it's going to be a very interesting innings next. So they would like to put a little bit of a buffer on board here, I think, guys, just to sort of secure that 1 run.
Riley Moore's been pretty good. She's only given up the 1 hit so far in the game, which was the hit that brought in the run.
It's a funny game, isn't it? You can have, well, Grauer is up to 6 strikeouts or 7 strikeouts or whatever it was. Riley's only had 1 hit against her, and it scored a run. So one swing of the bat can really turn this great game of ours.
And up to bat here we've got a new player, a new name. I'm not familiar with Charlie Nash.
Yeah, well, to be honest with you, I don't know much about Charlie Nash either, but we were just talking before, young player breaking through the ranks here. Jim, do you know much about Charlie Nash?
Yep, a young player from the Port Adelaide Softball Club. We mentioned before that they are won the Junior Club of the Year award last season. Exciting to see young Nash probably in her debut. I don't have the stats on her.
Yeah. Sorry, guys, we had a little bit of technical difficulties there with the field mic, as Riley Moore gets the strike. Oh no, is it a base on balls?
Base on balls.
We had a bit of technical difficulty with the on-field microphone. It was getting a bit loud in the background there, so we had to depart from the desk for a second. So we're back.
It was a good, controlled or mature even turn at bat from young Charlie Nash as she took 4 balls, didn't have to take the bat off her shoulder. Gets away from the catcher and she'll stroll over to second. So great start for the youngster for Port Adelaide. She only looks young as well, doesn't she, under that little helmet?
She does, and if it is her debut, congratulations. And yeah, you're off to a great start.
It's a lonely place to stand out there at second base now as the base runner, and Coach Straps has just given her a little bit of encouragement. So he knows as well, it's very intimidating to stand out there under lights with the cameras on you. And it is your debut game. You're standing out there going, I'm the second run that could cross the plate here. I need to make sure I'm on the ball.
Back to the top of the Port Adelaide lineup, Megan Williams. One on the outside edge, probably the top of the zone as well.
And Sims is out there just giving us some encouragement all over the diamond.
Sack bunt, Riley Moore checks the runner going to third and in time gets the throw over to second base, Ash Lupino for the first out. Now she checked the runner, but she still decided to throw to first as Nash made her way over to third base.
Wowee. That was exciting. I didn't know if she was going to get the ball there in time or not. She checked the runner. Nash at third. Ooh, Neves says, yeah, that was pretty close.
Yeah,
she knew it, didn't she?
She did, just as it got past her.
There's one out. The Cats will be desperate to get Neves and maybe pass up Yo Grauer. We know Lee Hull would be putting her on. Let's see how Jess goes, though, because she's also a dangerous hitter, so you don't want to slot one to her.
Well, she's got 8 for the season, you said, but 4th in the team. She can go after him and will. Even a fly, sack fly would...
Just inside. Yeah, we've seen Neves go deep in the fully loaded competition. She's hit a couple of big hits so far in the season. In the fully loaded. Finals tomorrow night. Can't wait for that action. We might touch on that in a moment.
Yeah, it's been a really exciting competition, and yeah, I'm really excited to see the finals next week. But very even,
wide
even
open
competition, so it's anybody's.
3-1 count, so hitters count for Neves.
Neves will be looking to hit here. Moore's got to slot it close enough to keep the fight or the battle alive.
Up the middle, will score another run. Port Adelaide manufactured a couple of runs in each of the last 2 innings. This time it's Neves.
And Nash crosses the plate.
And that's the same kind of hit they scored their first run with when Tash Straps hit it single up to 8. Making it now a 2-0 ball game.
Well, the one walk that Moore has thrown has proven to be costly. Second run for the Magpies. Low for a ball.
Close.
Yeah, Grauer's got a couple of quirks, hasn't she? She, after each pitch, she'll go over and take a practice swing and check with the third base coach.
And she just has that little swing, and she's done it again. You're right, Jim. Every swing. Just settles herself down.
Grauer with a good hitters count. She's seen a couple of pitches. Only one out as well, so she can really free up the hands a little bit and go for it, I reckon.
Yeah, you're right. She went after it. She was just loosening up. A couple of loose swings there prior.
That was actually smart pitching from Riley Moore. She kept it inside as well, probably knowing that it was a good hitters count, but only fouled it off. Goes opposite field on this one. Well read from Lupino, and still had time to turn around for a sharp play, playing the lead runner at second. Tried the double.
Fantastic play, and what cool and calm under pressure. You know, most people would be, let's just get the out at first, but wow. Here we go, flipping around. And yeah, not far off of it. So what a great play by Walkerville. They'll be really excited about that.
Lupino's weight was all going towards first base. I thought she was just going for that out, easy out, but instead she was able to turn over and play the lead runner, which is very important because with a runner in scoring position and Chillingworth up to bat, you know, they could have put on another on the board. So great defense from the Cats. Chillingworth fouls that one off. Two strikes on Chillingworth. There's 2 out. Porter leading 2-0. Great shot and a great catch from Sophie King. Defense highlights for the Cats in the last couple of plays, but well, it was Port Adelaide who put another run on, and after 3 complete innings, they'll have a 2-run lead, a handy 2-run lead as we hit the halfway mark. of this big matchup between the Cats and the Pies.
Nice solid hit there by Taylor, but you know, unfortunately it's straight to the batter, but yeah, a nice solid hit. So straight to the shortstop.
Great catch.
King.
And we're back with the live action here. It is the Port Magpies leading Walkerville Cats after 3 innings. We're in the top of the 4th now. 2 runs to 0. And Kathy Lambert departs. Thank you for your contribution tonight, Kathy. She's going to head over to Game 3, which is the Seacombe Tigers versus West Torrens Eagles. And all action. Actually, welcome to the broadcast for the first time tonight, Lee Hull. Welcome, Lee.
Thank you, James, and Mark, and various others.
And we have a great ball game on our hands here, Lee. So far, it has been Yo Grauer in control. It's the Yo Grauer of old, and has pitched 6 strikeouts in 3 innings. And then it's been the Port Adelaide offense, all contributing for a couple of hits, and both of the hits with the runners in scoring position. So that's how they've scored their 2 runs. 2 singles up the middle. That one just missed Hayley Benithan. Sounded on the effects microphone like it hit something hard. I think it may have hit the umpire square on the chest plate.
No Chelsea Robinson tonight?
Yep, no Robinson. But the Walkerville Cats haven't looked out of it yet. They've had some base runners on and they've been able to advance them, but
our elite scorers, Jim, have just told me that it hit the bat as she was pulling back. So it comes off the foul ball.
Great pickup there from our statisticians team we have here each week at the Premier League. And they bring us all the stats. High for a ball now. Lee, we'll get to you in a moment, mate. We'll still keep calling the action and we'll get you to jump in with your leading team special comments as well. So I hope you're sharp as attack and you've been warming up over on the backfield, because you saw the Sturt Falcons play against Hills Heap in a battle for top place. It was first versus second. High for a ball. Hayley Benithan will get things going here in the 4th inning with a lead-off walk. Lee.
Well, the game was terrific to watch, James. I watched and scored it all, and it finished up 4-3 to the Falcons. But some highlights: Maddie Cameron hit a triple, and then they threw the ball wide, and she walked home from 3rd. Probably was the winning run. But it was 1 run in the 1st, 1 in the 2nd, 1 in the 4th for Hills, and for Sturt it was 1 in the 2nd, 1 in the 4th, and 2 in the last, the 5th innings. So we went 5 digs. Ada Caruana at right field took 2 magnificent running catches in foul territory.
Dale shows bunt. Now this happened last time. Hayley Benithan had a walk in the 1st inning, and it was Dale with the sacrifice bunt to advance her to second base. So 2 walks.
2 walks and 2 at-bats. Hayley Benithan, you were just pointing that at me a second ago. A little bit of deja vu here, and that's dangerous because Benithan's a very good base runner as well, and Dale is very, very clever.
Takes off on the pitch. That one's low and missing the zone for 3-0.
Yeah, on further to that game, it had everything. It was great. Georgia Hood pitched very well. Zali Adams pitched for Sturt, pitched the entire game. Only had 1 strikeout. Gave up 4 hits.
As we see Dale still showing bunt, pulls out of that one for a called strike. So it sounds like the Falcons came back though, Lee.
Yeah, they did. They were never out of it, but I was surprised they didn't choose to walk Bell or Maddie, and probably hurt them in the end. Hills.
Fouls that one off to go to a full count now, so we'll see Dale swing.
Mackenzie Ween had a 2-base hit. It was a cracking shot out the right centre. Probably the best hit I've seen her do. So there was, and Georgia Hood had 4 strikeouts and gave up 3 hits. So nothing in the game at all, as you would expect between the top 2 sides.
Oh, there's an interesting battle forming out here. You got Benithan, who is very, very keen to get to second base. You got Karen Dale, who will sit there all night Lee, as you know, and will just foul off and foul off and foul off until she gets that one.
Well, it's the experience, isn't it, of Dale now. She's right in charge. She's right in charge of herself and for the team. She knows what she's got to do here.
Jams her, and Grauer will just take the simplest of catches to deny the Cats, and Benithan stuck it first.
It's a great pitch, wasn't it?
Well, Dale's hands, she shook her hands, it cramped her right up and it hit the wrong part of the bat. She was shaking her hands afterwards. So very clever pitching and a good battle. I said it was forming.
Well, Yo Grau showed a bit of this form, the game, the latter part of the game against West Torrens on Saturday. Seemed to get back to that rhythm and that pace. She's always got the pace, but the rhythm and the accuracy was there in the latter part of that game, and it is obviously tonight.
Lee, we mentioned earlier, Mark brought up the fact that she's dictating the pace of this game as well. She's really taking her time between pitches. Sophie Roberts pulls this one foul. It was a change-up. In between each pitch, she is absolutely taking a long time. She's settling herself. She's taking a deep breath. It just looks like that she's reset herself, because it's been a tough couple of a few weeks, because she's come back to this competition as the Cath Coral medalist, the reigning best and fairest. A lot of expectation on her shoulder, being the only American pitcher in the league this season, and you know, she started the season off just on fire as well, and a bit of a lull. Like, some teams were starting to get onto her, and now, like I said, dictating the pace of the game.
Taking her time.
You watch her, she'll take a deep breath here as well before she goes for a grip. And
that's an object lesson to young pitchers in our competition. You don't have to rush. Make the batters wait. Make them wait for you. You're running the show there. That's the mentality you need, and she's got it all right.
Sophie Roberts was a strikeout victim, but she was no orphan. There was 6 of them in the first time through the lineup. Grauer will deal a 2-2 count high.
Oh, she did.
Plate umpire Lawrence calls the swing. It was high and way out of the zone. It did look like Roberts held back, but not enough.
I was going to say, there was a few groans around me, and I don't think she went the full hog.
Strikeout number 7 for Grauer brings up Ash Lupino. Lee, who was the leading team's player of the game over on that earlier game where the Sturt Falcons came from behind to beat the Hills Heat?
Well, I think Georgia Hood had to be up there. I'm pretty well sure it was going to be Georgia. She's got
great replay on the leading team's replay. The team from Spacequake Sports bringing you the action here.
Yeah, Georgia, she batted for herself, of course, got 2 safe hits at 3 turns at bat. One was one of the foul flies, deep one that Ada Caruana took. So I think she was the best player for sure. A few errors in the game, mainly on the Sturt side, 3 errors in the defensive side of things. Didn't help the cause.
That one's out of the zone. We do give the pitchers a lot of the credit, don't we? But the catches, of course, and that was a good take from Kara Tilton. And as I mentioned, 3 hits last week, 1 hit already tonight, or just tipped the glove, so it went down as an error, but seeing the ball pretty well and frames that one nicely for a called strike.
Well, I tell you though, but the 2 catches Ada Caruana took, they were spectacular. They were hard running at right field, Wynn taking the ball away, still took them. They were deep, but she shut them down.
She's a veteran of this competition, but also an absolute elite player, Ada Caruana.
Pino goes after that one too, high and out.
Well, that'll end the inning.
And that was a very good innings there by another good innings by Joanna Grauer, who gets another 2, I think, Jim, and she's up to 7 or 8 for the game. So she's consistent tonight and dictating the terms. So Port Adelaide are well in control at the moment, even though they're up by 2 runs to 0. They're looking after it.
Well, 2 strikeouts in each inning so far for Grauer. 4 innings, 8 strikeouts, and that is probably the tail of the tape for the Cats offense. Only 2 walks, both to Bonython. But on the flip side, the Port Adelaide Magpies have had base runners on pretty consistently. An error credited for Kerra Tilton, but it was good enough for a hit. Tash Straps with a hit, Jess Neves with a hit, and a walk from young Charlie Nash, Lee.
Oh, okay. Is this going to be in direct telecast? Because I've had a couple of people ring me and said
No.
no. Okay, no, just asking.
We had a few technical issues.
This is Charlize Callahan up to bat. For the Magpies, she's one of the young stars of the competition. Crushes this ball. What a great backhand play from Lupina. She's been in the action tonight. The pivot players, in fact, the whole entire infield for Walkerville have been on fire tonight.
She's got a couple of good plays, though, before she threw it across the second to take the lead runner. And that one there, she comes across with a backhand. It was a second hopper, and they fire off, Lee. Sometimes they pop up, sometimes they stay low. She turned with it, bit of an Olay style, but got the out.
Well, we've learnt what a steady, reliable player she is, Ash. So no surprises to me, Mark.
Kerra Tilton swinging a hot bat, 3 hits on the weekend. Good piece of the ball earlier in this game. It was opposite field as well, so she's got a couple of tricks up her sleeve. Kerra Tilton, she can power the ball to the fence. She can drive it opposite field.
And these are the dangerous positions, 6, 7, 8 and 9. Like we always say, 6, 7, 8, 9. You never know what you're going to get. And Tastrap started it off from 7. And she goes after that one big too, and it fouls off. But I tell you what, they're not afraid to swing the bat, are they? 6, 7, 8 and 9. They want to always creep up. I don't know why they try and do that. They're good in their position. Just stay there. Leave us alone at the top.
Change up. Goes opposite field. It is going to drop in. Right field was pretty deep. Centre field was first to the ball. And just in no man's land, Leroy.
Yes, I'm not a big G for outfielders playing deep, actually, as you may or may not know.
You do say that, Lee, but what happens when you get someone like the Maddie Cameron that pops up and puts it, into eternity? Or
different type of batter. Yeah,
but we know that Tilton can hit the ball, so you want to be out. You'd rather go in and it drop in front of you than behind your head.
Well, it hasn't hurt yet, has it? So I guess that's half a point.
Well, there is one out here in the bottom of the 4th, and Walkerville really need to consolidate in their defensive inning because they're already trailing by 2 and Grauer's on fire, so they've got to limit the damage as much as possible.
And this lady started the ball rolling for Port Adelaide. Lee, you missed it before, but Tash put one straight up the centre and scored the first run, which was Cara Tilton, who came around.
Yeah, they had the catcher speed up.
Yep.
And Chillingworth come in to run, stole a base, and then it was a single up the middle, and you'd probably credit the error to the centre fielder for a slight fumble.
So this is the dangerous part for my liking.
Strap started the season on fire. For the first 4 games, she got a hit in each of the games, and would have been in the top half of the order if it wasn't for these young guns that Port Adelaide Magpies have in their lineup that just have been dominating. And you said it just before, Mark, these batters at 7, 8, 9 just doing so much good work. Tash Straps with a base on balls. She has just been so consistent. Over a long time, yet she's only early 20s. She's probably 23.
No way. Is she really?
Base on ball, so a hit and a walk for Tash Straps.
she plays and has always played with a maturity, I think, Taz Straps. And, you know, the old man Strapsy, he's been playing. You're going to tell me he's only 32.
Ray Straps is 92.
Sorry.
And looks every day of it
he's
as well.
92 years old and one of Lee Hull's.
He went to school with Lee, yeah.
Lee's youngest.
This is third place Walkerville versus fourth place Port Adelaide. Separated by runs against Lee, only 3 runs against the difference, and only 1 run the difference for runs for as well. So these two teams are so evenly matched as head coach Butch Sims calls time, wants to have a chat.
He's going to put a runner in, I think, here.
Well, another run might put it out of range for the Cats as we past the 60-minute mark. So still 30 minutes to go, so there's still plenty of time in this game, but it's going to need a big offensive inning from the Cats. Difference between these two teams on the ladder, Lee, is that Port have only had the 3 losses but 2 draws. Walkerville 5 wins and 4 losses, but they have scored an extra run and their defence is 3 runs better.
It's so tight, isn't it, this season already? So tight.
And they look like they're bringing a speedster out too, Jim. A little whippet.
What number you got for us?
To be honest with you, she just changed her Guernsey and just put another Guernsey on.
Is this
number
Thompson?
11? Oh, I had the same number. So is that Thompson? Yes. Oh, I just got told by the ladies that there was a dual number, same number, so she had to change the top.
Zoe Thompson. We haven't seen her name pop up either. So in one of those talented groups within Port Adelaide Juniors ranks, so maybe also making her debut tonight, along with Charlie Nash, who's in the on-deck circle. Lee, she had a very good 4-ball walk when she faced her first turn at bat. Riley Moore hasn't done much wrong either.
That's great. See the young people coming in. Port have got a lot of young players, and they're just growing, aren't they, with the maturity.
I think a little bit of nerves out there at second base as well. Her lead-off's only a couple of steps. So
I did notice that the first time, Jim, and then she took about 2.5 steps back and almost tripped over the bag and went, oh, I didn't really get off that far. Oh, that went off. She went a little bit further then. So she's getting a little bit more comfortable out there.
With no one covering the base either, she sprinted back.
You know you're a young rookie when you run back and no one's even covering you.
She'll be right. She'll be right, though. Zoe Thompson, we wish her all the best in her softball career, as it's a 2-2 count here for Forrester. Gets a little bit of this one. It goes foul.
Straps knows this ground particularly well. That foul ball was up and out, but she held her base thinking if that swings back around with the wind, I'm going. We've got a little battle starting out here. You got to runner the go-ahead ball, the third run at second. As that one fires out over to King, and that's going out. It's going to hit the fence. The centre field picks it up, and 1 run crosses the plate, and 2 as Straps comes in. And wowee, there's a stand-up double through to centre.
Ella Forrester joins the party for Port Adelaide. Smashes this one into the alley. It was a foot race to get to it first, and Walkerville couldn't stop the 2 runs crossing the plate.
Tell us about that one, Lee. You can't really do much about that one. That just came off the bat and came off like a lightning. And it was placement more than power, wasn't it?
And Ella can hit the ball well too. When she does hit it, hits it very hard.
Ella Forrester with a 2 RBI double, and it's been a bit of a long time coming for her. She got her first hit of the season last week, and she has gone 2 games in a row, including a double, a 2-run double, and it doubles the lead for Port Adelaide. They lead 4-0. Let's look at the leading team's replay. It was a laser beam as well. It was a line drive just out of reach of the shortstop, Sophie King, and have a look at that ball roll and roll. Bianca Ramsey picked it up for the Cats, and
I tell you who wasn't giving up. I was just about to say, Taz Straps did not give up. She was at first base when that lasered out there. So she went and she did not take her eyes off home plate. And Butch Sims was swinging her home, and she came home with a wet sail, didn't she?
Right time for a pitching change as well. We've got Sally Colquist going through her warm-up pitches for the Walkerville Cats, and the ability for her to not only throw 5 warm-ups here, but she gets a batter as well in the 9-hitter. No disrespect to Charlie Nash. She had a good at-bat her first turn, but she's the 9-hitter for this team, which will give Sally Colquist a bit of a rolling start when she gets around to the top of the order in just one batter time.
Certainly will, and Sally pitched very well last week, didn't she? Against Sturt, pitched most of the game.
Well, we mentioned
Riley came in.
We mentioned how well these two are pitching well together. Mark put it ever so eloquently, 2 for the price of 1. In the fact that they're similar type of pitchers. I think Sally's got a little bit more speed than Riley.
And experience.
With the experience head on the shoulders as well.
But what I was saying, Lee, as well, is that they both complement the field. The field doesn't have to do much of a change for each pitcher, so they sort of get into a bit of a rhythm, the field as well. Like I know that, you know, when we would have Craig Pidcock pitching for us, we'd set up differently, or if you have Dan Waters pitching. So they're 2 different pitchers, where these guys have got a very similar pitcher and you can stay in your own positions.
Yep.
Charlie Nash with her first swing in the bat fouls this one off. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Leave the advantage that the Cats have for having 2 good pitchers in their lineup. We see the Sturt Falcons something similar as well. They've got the 2 pitchers in their lineup as well, so you can rotate, you can share the load. If one's on, you know, they can, or if one's off, the other one can come in and relieve the other.
It's a big plus for the team, isn't it? Have 2 quality pitchers, for sure.
Charlie Nash has a full count.
I think she threw the bat away saying, I'm going up there, and Neville said, well, hang on, I'll give you 1 more opportunity.
And
he's very caring, Neville.
And Lee, it was Sally that started as the flex player. So Riley is still in the game as the DP. Gets enough of this, hits it opposite field, and Lupino, too good. You're not going to take her on because she's got a very strong arm. So Forrester couldn't really go anywhere,
well,
so
Butch
she holds up at second.
Butch was calling her there, and then sort of just give her the little thumbs up, and she's apologising to Butch there, as you can see on the screen. But would you have went? Yeah. I wouldn't have went, because Lupino could have fired that straight across and taken her. She's got a good arm.
Well, they say anywhere from second, yeah, that's right. If the ball's behind you, you should be able to take the next base. So that's second and third. You should be able to take the extra base or score from third on any ball to the right side.
Yeah, but that came across to Lupino like a rocket, and you said it before, she's on fire today. She's taken a couple of good plays, and there was a bit of hesitation at second base. If you hesitate, you don't make it, do you? So I think she made the right decision by staying. I would have, because I'm old and slow.
Forcing a play, adding that extra defensive pressure as well, might put the fielder into 2 minds and rush a throw to first maybe as well, so forcing that error. But this is the Premier League for a reason, and you're probably going to see Lupino make an out 9 out of 10 times on that occasion. It's pop up to Jenny Gray to end the 4th inning. It was the inning for Port Adelaide. They put 2 on the board, courtesy of hits to Tilton and Forrester. Tash Straps with a crucial walk, good timing as well, and they will lead at the end of 4 runs to 0. Well, we are back with the action here. That's Tash Straps on screen. She got a walk and was the second run of the inning, the 4th for Port Adelaide in the game. Got Lee Hull joining us. You were over at the other game tonight. It was the Sturt Falcons versus Hills Heat, top versus second. Mark Cramps also here, as he is on a regular basis on a Wednesday night. But tomorrow night, gentlemen, is the finals of Fully Loaded Softball, starting at 7 p.m. The West Beach Community Bank Cobras versus the CPC Angels. And they play for the right to play against the MC Sportswear Thunder in the final at 8 p.m. Spectacular action.
That was a mouthful there, Jim, and you got through it unscathed. And I don't want to be biased or anything like that, but look, do yourself a favour. Head down to West Beach Bank and support the Cobras franchise, but do us all a favour and back the Angels, the CPC Angels. Lee, I don't want to promote them too much because I'm being fair here, but I love them.
Colour of your hair's got no bearing on it, Mark.
Interesting enough, Lee does come into the office before the broadcast, and we talk about the action and who's playing well, etc. He does not stop talking about the Angels. He's a red hot Angels fan.
I can see, like, I think tomorrow night you may even see him with a little bit of Angels paint on the face, or you know, one of his. What do they used to do in America? They write their Angels on the chest or something and lift the shirt up or something.
Have to find my chest first.
It's a pirate's dream, is it? The old sunken chest.
Jenny Gray is the lead-off hitter for Walkerville Cats here in the top of the 5th inning. We are about 70, 73 minutes into the game, so chances for the Cats are running out. So they want to make a move on inside for a ball.
What time does the action kick off tomorrow night?
7 p.m. game 1, 8 p.m. game 2, and I can tell you now the competition is just dead even. Each team has played 6, they've won 3 and lost 3. They've all beaten one another as well, so well done to the draft system. It's actually worked a treat this year. 3 very even teams as Jenny Gray earns herself a base on ball, and that action is all very great. We're grateful for the support of the franchise owners, CPC, Commercial Partitions and Carpentry, West Beach Community Bank, and of course MC Sportswear. High for a ball as Jenny Gray gets a short lead off as Riley Moore shows bunt. Lee, are you bunting 4 runs down?
No.
Why not?
Because they'll just give you a base for an out, the Port Adelaide side, and that's the way to play it.
Outside edge for a called strike. So Yo Grauer just looks like she's got it all under control now again, doesn't she? She
looks
on
like
fire
the Yo Grauer that we know and love.
Go for a ball, and we can thank Kathy Lambert. She joined us at the start of the broadcast. She's gone over to relay some of the scores from what's happening over on the Diamond tonight. 3 games here at West Beach tonight to help make up for that circuit breaker round that we lost due to the COVID-19 break that we had, just a mini break. Moore gets a lot of that one. Gee, it went like a rocket.
It did.
And West Torrens with an early lead against Seacombe 1-0 after 1 inning.
You'd have to pick West Torrens, wouldn't you? You'd think.
Well, it's fifth versus 6th, and we know that Seacombe defeated West Torrens earlier in the year 9-5, and then West Torrens turned the tables and won 2-0 the second time they played. Great pitch from Yo Grauer, 9th strikeout of the game. Riley Moore struck out on that change-up.
Well, I know some coaches, James, that don't want their batters to play a shot at the change-up. I disagree with that. If it's there to be hit, hit it.
Swing and a miss from Lisa Yancey. So you're tipping West Torrens?
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Mark?
Yeah, West Torrens. You might see a bunt here.
With 1 out, chasing 4, runner on first. I guess, you know, here's the change-up on the leading team's replay. Lee, we were talking about would you bunt when chasing 4, but then again, when someone with the likes of Grauer's thrown 9 strikeouts,
You've got to try something?
got to try something.
Well, I was just about to say, Lee, when you said no, as there she gets another strikeout. You've got to try something different, Jim. You're right. Guys, I was just, back in the day, when I say back in the day, quite a while ago, I used to watch a bit of the women's ball, and they used to try and get at least 1 run in innings. It would be someone would get on, it would be bunt, it would be bunt, it would be, you know, there was no big swingers, no big hitters, no big. These days, they've almost dropped the bunt, and now they just bat away. You've seen the game switch and shift, and
I think a lot of it's got to do with the quality of the pitches that you're facing. You get people like Yo thrown at you. It's a fair point saying about bunting the ball, but if you're a defensive coach, we're just give them a base for an out. You'll eventually get 3 outs.
Lee, you're one of the most experienced coaches that we have in the state. Over 20-odd years of experience coaching state teams and representative teams. A lifetime of service to the sport. High for a swing and a miss from Ramsey. The game just continues to evolve, and so there will be times when that short game is going to come back and not just be a weapon for 1 or 2 people in the competition. You see Ada Caruana and Jackie Beale, they're pretty proficient at the left-handed running bunts and slaps, etc. Foul ball. But, you know, the power hitting, sorry Lee, to finish my point, the power hitting, they're game-changing plays, because that one run that you can say that you score an inning mark turns into 2 or 3 in an inning. We saw Belinda White, she's got 13 hits on the season. She hasn't squared around a bunt once in the season.
A lot of coaches will say they're either a long ball coach or they're a short ball coach, as in playing the short game. I think you need to be both.
I consider myself just to be a long ball hitter. I don't do it very regularly, or at all. Oh, she's getting right under it now, Grauer. She's having fun out there. She's got 10 chalked up for the game. She knows. Well, she got King up on deck right now. So
back to the top of the order.
She needs to just settle down, throw this one in. She's having some fun out there with that one.
Well, 10 strikeouts, Mark, but 4 walks. With time ticking away, you know, Walkerville might need to take all the chance they can get, and at the top of the order, seeing her for the 3rd time round, have some long at-bats, but Sophie King swings and misses at the first one for a strike.
Well, Hayley Benathan up on deck, so if they could get another walk out here, Hayley Benathan, with one swing of the bat, and we know she can do it, could tie this up. Where were they when they played last time? Are we? That's 2.
Well, Walkerville haven't been shut out this entire season. Their first 2 games of the year, they were held to 1 run. But since then, they've put on 40 runs over their last 7 games.
Yeah, right.
I'd throw change up this pitch.
I think it's coming, Lee. No need.
No need.
Grauer with strikeout number 11. 3 strikeouts in the inning, and we are getting close to time. Port Adelaide will get the opportunity to
swing the
bat this one out. There's probably about 5 or so more minutes before no new inning, and the Cats will need to be quick, as you can see them hustling out to their positions.
Yes, well, I'd just like to take this opportunity, James, just to give a shout out to a great friend of softball here in South Australia, Tracy Borovnik, who we all know. She's had a bit of a setback and she's in the hospital. Pretty serious stuff, but that's all I can say at the moment. So big shout out to you, Trace, and all the best from all of us here at softball.
Good on you, Trace.
Yeah, get well.
With time ticking away, you know, I'm probably only having 1 warm-up pitch, you know, just getting straight into it.
I'll tell you what we need here now. The sun has gone down, the wind has picked up. We need an MK Services SA fire pit. A nice little MK Services fire pit. He makes some good ones. Ask him about it.
Fire pit?
Yeah, well, I've seen him post. You've got to follow them. And they post some good stuff. Quite a handy man.
Neves in the box. It's her 3rd time around. Actually, Walkerville and Port Adelaide have had the same amount of batters in this game so far. Yeah, it's the bottom half of the inning, but Walkerville has still been getting some batters out there. Their defense is holding up pretty well, so we'll see what happens in this inning, of course, but you would think any more runs and you would just call it a dominant performance from the Magpies tonight. MK Services SA, just one of the great partners of Softball SA. And you're right, Mark, they also do tag and test as well, cleaning services. So that fire pit, I'm interested in that.
We'll have to have a chat to the powers above and see if we can organise one down here for softball. It's a bit chilly at the moment. A nice fire pit would go handy.
Well, Lee, with time ticking away, you're the coaching expert. What's Butch Sims thinking? Is he thinking, do I make a change? Do I slow it down?
Oh,
Catch taken from Sophie King. Look at this one. She turns it over for 2 out, and the Cats have some life.
Yes, it's just what they wanted, didn't they? Just to do a double, and now they get a go at talking about Chile. Here she is.
Line drive. What a great shoestring catch from Sophie King on the leading team's replay.
I don't know what happened there, but I think Neves got caught napping maybe a little bit because I think she may have been admiring the catch.
I think she thought the ball was going to hit the deck. It looked like it was going to. Sophie, too good though.
Just as I was saying, slow it down a little. The Cats, with a little bit of life, they need one more out.
What they don't need here is a long ball from Chile. That'll eat up the time.
Just been so impressive this year, Lee. Let's have a look at that on replay again. Great catch from Sophie King. 12 hits on the season, Lee. Second in the comp. This one's popped up. Jenny Gray just out of reach. Second only to Belinda White.
Pretty good effort, isn't it?
Yeah.
Pretty good stats.
With the names like Georgia Hood as well in that mix. She's got 12 as well.
How's Cameron got?
Cameron's got 10 on the season. So that does include tonight.
Yep. She got 1 tonight, I think. Yep.
Pulls this one. The streak continues for Chillingworth. 6-game streak, hit number 13.
It's all about placement as well, isn't it, Lee? And it doesn't matter. You don't have to crush it. You don't have to line drive it. You just got to put it in the right spot. And 13, 6 in a row.
That's why you don't have your outfield too deep. Just thought I'd bring that to your attention.
He's finally got 1 hit.
Chillingworth will ground out to Jenny Gray, and the umpire will look at his watch just quickly.
He's handing the balls back.
Yeah, for COVID.
We started 4 minutes late. Neville mustn't be cold because normally when he's got the chills on, he'll call it.
And so we will go round again. So the Cats,
they get an opportunity.
Get a chance. You know, you never write off a team, do you?
No, not quality team, and they have some quality players.
Gee, what a great highlight that was. Sophie King's catch. Chillingworth, you know, with that 13th hit of the season. Now, you mentioned that Maddie Cameron has a hit. She is now on a 9-game hitting streak, if you don't mind. Maddie Cameron.
Hard to keep them down.
You said Georgia Hood, 2 hits. She's now got 14 on the season. How'd Belle White go?
Belle, let's have a look here.
I get so excited looking at these stats because, you know, you can just feel, you just know when someone is can light up the whole competition, and it's great talent throughout the Premier League.
Bell, base on balls, followed by 2 ground outs.
Gee, Georgia Hood did the work over on Belinda White. I remember back game 1, Sturt beat the Hills 7-3, and Georgia Hood gave up 4 hits for that game, and Belle White had 3 of them. Yeah. So she's obviously learned a lesson this time round. As
she got Bell chasing the outside pitch a bit.
I think she'll be in fine form for tomorrow night.
Who's that? Georgia Hood?
Yes.
Yeah, for the CPC Angels. And
thank you for the plug.
The late mail is that the Thunder, although they're through to the final, Belinda White is going to be on national duty. She's got a national battery camp, but the Angels will lose Chelsea Robinson.
Yeah, there's good and there's the bad, isn't there? So that'll even it up. But I tell you what, don't discard the West Beach Cobras.
Oh, well, they didn't have a great start.
They've done the job on both of them
but
already.
They've won 3 of their last 4 games, and I reckon they've hit an average of about 15 runs a game as well. So that is above the average for fully loaded softball. Okay, this will be the final inning. It is the top of the 6th. It's Hayley Benithan up to bat. She's had 2 walks already in this game, Lee, and she's got a 3-0 count.
I'm going it. I'm swinging.
That
Can't swing on that, too high.
That great batting for Hayley Bonython. The 3 walks on the game, but she is in the top half dozen hitters in the competition with 10, so she doesn't get to go up the leaderboard there.
So Lee, you said have a swing, right? Yeah. I would have had a swing because she's. I don't want to say she's done nothing because she's worked hard behind the bank, but Grower has kept her out of the swing by base on balls. So you have a bit of a hack at that one, right? Yep. And you try and get something closer to try and, because you're standing at first now, really.
You still got 2 pitches up your sleeve if you swing at the first one.
Yeah, yeah. I would have been selfish. I mean, I would have went for it.
Well, she's pitched.
I am surprised.
Grower's pitched around the Cats' best batter as she will take the base on the pass ball. She's pitched around their best batter the entire game, and it's worked because she's shut out the Walkerville lineup. Add in a Chelsea Robinson into that, and maybe you can see a run or 2 being scored. But no hits on the night so far from Grower. She is in full control.
Yes, she's
despite her 5 walks.
Yep. Well, they haven't hurt. The walks haven't hurt.
That's smart pitching, Jim, isn't it? Just not make it obvious. As Bonython gets to 3rd on the pass ball there, as that one dropped into the dirt. Had a little bit on it too.
She's quick on her feet, Hayley, isn't she?
She is a very aggressive base runner.
Leaves us at the shortly that she's still going the US in the college system.
We'll have to wait and see, won't we, Lee?
Yeah,
we just don't know in this uncertainty.
Just going back to what we were saying, Grower did that very smart. She pitched around Hayley without even being noticed that she was doing it. She took her out of the game silently. That's very, very, very clever.
Yeah, all right, let's see what's happened so far in the top of the 6th inning. We can see that Grower's just thrown back-to-back walks. Now, it is 6 walks on the game. She's thrown 11 strikeouts. It's no sign that she's tiring out. She's an athlete. She's seasoned athlete as well. So this isn't going to bother her going into the 6th. What might be bothering her is the change in temperature. It would probably dropped about 15 degrees. Says that it's 19. There's no way it's still 19 degrees. But
Cold as mother-in-law's kiss.
So maybe that's affecting her. Do you think?
Could be. It certainly got chillier, hasn't it, in the last 10 minutes, for sure.
A little bit of wind has picked up as well, but I don't think she's not doing anything wrong. She's still hitting the corners and hitting the spots and hitting the lows. And but I just think Walkerville.
I think Sophie Roberts is coming up with a shot here.
Yeah, well, I was going to mention that she's had 2 strikeouts, a lot from high pitches, swinging and missing. But if you groove one on her, you're going to see the ball go up the middle. Run's going to score. Chillingworth looked to feed it over to second base play, but she was close enough that she could play it herself. Yep. The run does score on the shot up the middle. It will go down as a fielder's choice, but it's still an RBI to Sophie Roberts.
Clever player, Chili, isn't she? Thinking person.
Was about to flick it up and realised no one was there. Just took that lead runner coming the second.
Leading team's replay. Williams was there, but the ball was so close to the base that she knew that it would have been quicker for Chillingworth to play it herself. And she's a good communicator as well. This ball gets away from tilt and it's way over to the dugout. Roberts won't be able to get 2 bases on it because she's so close to 3rd. But if it was on the opposite side of the diamond, may have seen her take 2 bases on that.
I was just looking at the K2s versus the KCs, right? So before we were saying we were just getting strikeouts. they're taking a little bit more time in the box now, and they're not swinging at everything. And there's only been 1, 2, 3 KCs, I think, 2 or 3 KCs. The rest have been swing and miss. So if you take that swing away, your odds may go back into your favour if you're not swinging at that fast, close pitch. So it's an interesting stat now that they've sort of held back a bit on the swing. They've got a run across the board. They've got a runner at second base, and there's only 1 down, I think, isn't there? Yeah.
Well, you've got your work cut out for you if you're going to shut out the Cats, as we mentioned earlier. Haven't been shut out so far in the season, and 40 runs in their last 7 games. So they're still not out of it. Only 1 out, runner in scoring position, and Pino with a 3-0 count. Just watches that one through. So you're right, Mark. Some patient turns at bat. They're seeing more pitches, making Grauer work now.
Yeah, but this is how she gets you. You wait for that. You just let her throw one, and she puts it straight down the middle, Lee, and you go, right, next one, I'm going. And it's just a little high, or it's just a little low. A little outside.
Great cut from Lupino. That one's fouled off. It hits the light tower hard. And
this is when I'm throwing the change up right now.
Full count, Lee. Change up.
Yep.
Now she's got the 2. Remember which one? You got the one that freezes you, like.
Well, Lily's sitting here saying high. She'll throw high. You watch.
Change up.
Oh, watch out, Lee.
What I like about Lupino is that she's got good enough hands to get to that one and to stay alive as well for the Cats. You mentioned Lily before, Mark. She's our guest at the commentary table tonight.
Just jumped up to get the foul ball and really ripped all the microphones out.
Another foul ball. Lupino's a fighter.
Big swing.
I love how she goes about it. She really burst on the scene a couple seasons ago, and this year in a transition from 3rd to 2nd as well, team balance, and she looks like a natural there as well.
Yes, and it's a different place to play, 2nd. But
very difficult.
Change up again, throw the change up again.
Great bat from Lupino. 3rd walk of the inning, believe it or not. 1 run scored so far. 2 runners on base for the Cats, and Jenny Gray up to bat now. Well, I mean, we're not barracking, but we love to see a good contest.
It's a game. I'm looking for a tight game.
You know, 1 or 2 more hits in this inning, and they're right back in it. They did it against Sturt on the weekend, Lee. They put on a few in 1 inning.
How's she been going, Jen, in this game?
A strikeout and a walk. This one just straight over the middle for a called strike.
She likes the ball coming under, so I throw a change up again here. Byron out. They'll soon mount up.
Oi, Grauer firing up now.
Yeah, she's really turned it up a notch over the last couple of batters. We saw, even though it was a walk against Lupino, we saw every trick that she had, including that one that we just saw. Just that real fast pitch. It just puts that little bit extra on, and now she has turned it up a notch, hasn't she? 2 fastballs in a row.
Gonna swing the bat here, Jen.
That's Sophie Roberts on 2nd. Jenny Gray's in the box here. There's 1 out.
Oh, there it is.
As I said, gotta swing the bat.
2nd out of the inning. That is strikeout number 12 for Grauer. So
Tells a story.
Yeah, we'll start talking player of the game now. Grauer has been terrific defensively, but funnily enough, she hasn't fired in the box tonight. And you would probably look to the hitters for performers of the game, the leading team performance of the game, but I can't go past her pitching performance. She's thrown 6 walks, 12 strikeouts, but I still think she's been the dominant player in the game.
Oh,
I hate giving it the pitches.
You know what? I'm going to disagree because, yes, she's done an amazing job on the mound, and I'm not taking that away from her, but she's also given up 6 base on balls, but Walkerville haven't capitalised on the base on balls, so then she shut them down with things, right? I've had 0 hits. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, I don't know, Jim. I think pitchers, they win everything.
Yeah, well, we will have a look at the Port Adelaide hitters. We can see that Neves with a single and a walk.
Straps started it?
Straps, yep. She's had a single and a walk with an RBI. She got it going. Chillingworth had a hit. It's been shared along all the way through. All the way through. Ella Forrester's 2-run double may have been the difference in the match. Although Walkerville have only scored 1 so far, Chillingworth's hit with 2 runners on base that went to the fence has been the best hit of the game. Sophie King's been great in the field. Hayley Benithan, 3 walks from 3 turns at bat. So it can be shared, but there has been one dominant player in this game. And it's been Grauer.
You're right. Oh,
It's a soft grounder, and that's a smart play from Callahan. She was on her heels and probably had that play in the back of her mind. If I get a shot here, I'll just play my base. And that will be it. The third out of the inning, a 5, put out to 5 to Callahan. And it is Port Adelaide in a pretty dominant performance over Walkerville, 4 runs to 1. These two teams had wins on Saturday, so let's have a look at the leading teams replay for the final out of the game as we start to review.
Yes, you just love those coming like that, don't you, that finish the game off when you're playing at third base, especially a young player, you know, simple.